For you, Taurus, who builds your world with patience and dedication, that loss was like someone knocking down the foundations of your house during a storm. Silently, you swallowed your tears while everyone said to just move on, without understanding that for you, each brick took years to lay. What no one knew is that your name was being written in the stars at that very moment, because November will bring back not only what you lost, but something much greater. That project that crumbled through your fingers, that person who closed the door without explanation, that opportunity that evaporated when you were about to seize it, all of that left a deep mark on you, Taurus. Your persistent heart, which rarely gives up, began to question whether all the effort was worthwhile. And that doubt, that small crack in your determination, is precisely what the universe is about to seal with gold. There are cycles in nature that we cannot control. The low tide always returns, the seasons always change, and the seed buried in darkness always finds its way to the light. In November, when the leaves fall and everything seems to die, that is precisely when the roots grow the most, invisible beneath the earth. And you, Taurus, are that subterranean force that never stops working, even when no one is watching. God saw every night you spent awake, replaying those moments, trying to understand where you went wrong. He counted every tear you shed when no one was watching. That dream you had to abandon, that betrayed trust, that crumbling stability, none of it went unnoticed. And now, the moment of divine restoration has arrived. It's no coincidence that it's in November, the month preceding the end of the year, the last gasp before renewal. And have you ever carried the weight of something that was unjustly taken from you, feeling that no one truly understood the depth of that loss? Share in the comments, I am ready for my restoration. Your story may be exactly what someone needs to read today, to not give up. I remember Maria, a Taurus who lost everything in a family business when her own brother excluded her from the company she had helped build for 12 years. She told me how she felt the ground disappear beneath her feet every time she passed the building where the company operated. It's as if they stole not only my job, but my identity, she said, her eyes welling up with tears. For months, Maria would wake up in the middle of the night, breathing heavily, reliving every moment, every sign she should have noticed. Last November, when she had already accepted her new reality, she received a call. A large company had been following her work for years and wanted to offer her a leadership position, with a salary 3 times higher than what she had received before and a share in the profits. What seemed like total destruction turned out to be just a divine redirection towards something much greater. Look, Taurus, when something is taken from you, an empty space is created. Nature cannot tolerate emptiness. It will always be filled with something new. It's a universal law. But what's coming to you isn't just a replacement, it's a multiplication, as if each broken piece is now returning not only restored, but amplified. There is a Japanese technique called kintsugi, where broken vases are repaired with gold in the cracks, making them more valuable and beautiful than they were originally. That is exactly what God will do with your losses in November. Every wound will be filled with divine gold. Every injustice will be transformed into multiplied blessings. The universe is mathematical and precise in its calculations. When something is unjustly taken away, it creates an imbalance that eventually needs to be corrected. It's like stretching a rubber band. The further you pull, the stronger it returns. Your restoration is coming with the same intensity as your loss, but in the opposite direction, transforming pain into joy, scarcity into abundance. November will bring an unexpected encounter, a surprising proposal, a door that will open without you needing to knock. You will recognize this moment because you will feel an immediate peace, as if every cell in your body were saying, "That's it, it has finally arrived." It will not just be compensation, it will be a complete elevation to a new level. For you, Taurus, who values security and stability above all else, this period of uncertainty has been particularly devastating. After all, you build your life brick by brick with planning and dedication. Having something violently ripped from your path was like an earthquake in the foundations of your existence. But there is a purpose in this. You were building on earth when your destiny was to build among the stars. There are blessings that can only come when we are forced to let go of what we hold so tightly. If you hadn't lost what you lost, you wouldn't be available to receive what is coming. The injustice you suffered was merely the prelude to a far greater divine justice that is about to manifest. The seeds of your restoration have already been planted. People are being positioned, situations are being aligned, resources are being directed, all converging on a specific moment in November that will completely change your narrative. You will feel it physically, a warmth in your chest, a sudden mental clarity, a renewed energy in the mornings. Carlos, another Taurus, lost his house in an unfair lawsuit after 10 years of paying off his mortgage. For months, he slept on friends' couches, feeling humiliated and betrayed by the system. Every penny of that house was earned through honest work, he told me, his voice breaking. In November, exactly 1 year after losing everything, a lawyer contacted him offering to represent him pro bono. They uncovered evidence of fraud in the lawsuit, and not only did Carlos recover his house, but he also received compensation that allowed him to fully pay off the mortgage. This was no coincidence. It was divine restoration. The waiting period was merely preparation for a far greater blessing. Just as a butterfly needs to struggle to emerge from its cocoon and strengthen its wings, your period of struggle was strengthening something within you that will be essential to sustaining the greatness to come. There are pains that break us and pains that transform us. Yours didn't come to destroy. It came to rebuild something much more aligned with your true purpose. That closed door wasn't the end. It was just a redirection to the path you should always have followed. Do you remember those nights when you questioned everything? When the injustice seemed so great that even your faith wavered? It was precisely in those moments that the decree of your restoration was being signed in heaven. Because when we are at our most vulnerable, that is when we are most open to divine intervention. In November, you will have a moment of absolute clarity where you will finally understand the reason for everything. It will be as if pieces of a puzzle finally fit together, revealing a much more beautiful image than you could have imagined. What seemed like a cruel twist of fate will reveal itself as the most direct shortcut to your true happiness. Imagine a tree that is severely pruned. At the moment it seems cruel and devastating, but it is precisely this pruning that allows new branches to grow stronger, producing more abundant fruit. You have been pruned, Taurus, and now you are about to bloom like never before. Silent perseverance is your trademark. While others give up easily, you keep pushing the rock uphill, day after day. This quality, which often goes unnoticed, has been seen and recorded. In November, you will reap the rewards of this persistence that seemed futile for so long. There's an old proverb that says, "What is unjustly taken away returns sevenfold." Prepare not only to recover what you lost, but to receive much more. As if the universe were compensating not only for what was taken, but also for all the suffering that came with it. The restoration that is coming will not be merely material or circumstantial. It will be complete. That inner peace you lost, that spontaneous joy that vanished, that confidence that was shaken. Everything will be restored simultaneously, like a healing symphony in all areas of your life. Analyze the signs that are already appearing. That recurring dream, that name you keep hearing, that strange coincidence that happened recently, none of this is by chance. They are clues to the path being prepared for you. November will only be the climax of a process that is already underway. A Taurus's strength comes from the earth, from the connection with the tangible, with the real. But their restoration will come from the sky, from the intangible, from the unexpected. It will be like rain after a long drought, transforming their desert into a garden practically overnight. When something is divinely restored, it doesn't return the same way. It returns perfected, like a broken bone that, when healed correctly, becomes stronger precisely at the point of fracture. The area of your life that was most painfully affected will be precisely the one that receives the greatest transformation. Remember, what defines your story is not what was taken from you, but how you responded to it. Your dignity in the face of injustice, your refusal to lower yourself to the level of those who hurt you, your silent faith when everything pointed to the contrary. All of this was noticed, and it will be rewarded. In November, you will understand that time was never working against you. It was working for you. Every day of waiting, every night of anguish, every moment of doubt was only increasing the size of the blessing to come, like compound interest that silently grows until it results in an astonishing sum. The injustice you suffered created a spiritual debt that the universe needs to settle. It's a cosmic law of balance, and when the universe pays its debts, it always adds generous interest. Get ready, Taurus. November won't just be another month on the calendar. It will be a milestone in your life, the month in which you finally understand that that devastating loss wasn't the end of the story. It was just the beginning of a much more extraordinary chapter. The month in which you'll look back and for the first time be able to be grateful for the storm that almost destroyed you, because it took you exactly where you needed to be. Divine restoration has no expiration date. It doesn't matter how much time has passed since its loss, days, months, or years. The decree has already been signed, and November will simply be the moment of its visible manifestation. Like a seed that germinates invisibly beneath the earth before finally breaking through the surface, God will not only restore what was taken from you, He will multiply it. He will not only heal your wounds, He will transform them into medals of honor. He will not only give you back what you lost, He will deliver what was always rightfully yours, but which you didn't even know existed. Your moment has arrived, Taurus. The wait is over. November will be the month of your total, complete, and irrevocable restoration. And when it comes, you will understand that every tear shed was worth it, because they didn't fall in vain, but irrigated the soil where your new life is about to flourish. Perhaps you've tried to forget that betrayal, that rejection, that moment when your hands were full and suddenly became empty. Perhaps you've sought solace in others, tried to fill the void with new projects, new relationships. But nothing has completely erased that feeling that something important was unjustly taken from you. There's a saying that time heals all wounds, but you know that's not quite true. Time only teaches you to live with the pain, to transform it into something more bearable. True healing, complete restoration, comes from a higher power, from a force that sees beyond circumstances. And that force has a plan for you that will begin to unfold in November. When God restores, He doesn't just return what was lost. He rebuilds in such a way that no future storm can bring it down. Like an architect who, when rebuilding a destroyed house, seizes the opportunity to strengthen the foundations, modernize the structure, and expand the rooms. What was coming against you will be transformed into fuel to propel you forward. I remember Anna, a Taurus who lost her job of 15 years due to unfair cuts at the company. At 52, she found herself unemployed in a market that favors youth. I felt disposable, as if all my knowledge and dedication were worthless, she shared with me through tears. For months, she sent out resumes without receiving any response, while her savings dwindled rapidly. One Sunday in November, after a church service, a man approached her asking if she was Anna, who had worked at that company. He was a former client who had started his own business and was looking for someone with exactly her experience. Today, Anna not only earns more than before, but also has the flexibility to manage her own team and implement ideas that were rejected in her previous job. That dismissal, which seemed like a curse, opened doors I didn't even know existed, she told me recently, with a sparkle in her eyes that had disappeared for so long. Have you ever noticed how nature operates in cycles? The harsh winter that kills plants is followed by a lush spring. The dark night always gives way to dawn. The waning moon always becomes full again. There is an ancient wisdom in these cycles, a promise that nothing remains in darkness forever. November will mark the end of your cycle of loss and the beginning of your cycle of multiplied abundance. Those who were instruments of your injustice will also be witnesses to your restoration, not for revenge or retribution, but so that they may understand the divine power that works in your life. Like Joseph of Egypt, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers, only to become governor of the nation and later the savior of those same brothers. His story of restoration will serve as a testimony to many. There is a strength within you, Taurus, that not even the worst circumstances could extinguish. That silent determination, that refusal to give up completely, that stubborn hope that insists on remaining even when everything seems lost. This strength is not just your personality. It is a divine seed planted purposefully to sustain you until the moment of your restoration. November will bring an awakening of your true potential. You will discover talents and skills that were dormant, abilities you didn't even know you possessed. Like a diamond that needs extreme pressure to form, you will emerge from the pressure of your ordeal as a rare and precious jewel. And then you will understand that the loss was, in fact, an investment in disguise. God's silence does not mean absence or indifference. It means preparation. Like a composer who makes strategic pauses in a symphony to create tension before the triumphant crescendo, God has allowed a period of silence in your life so that the moment of restoration will have an even more powerful impact. In November, the pause will end and the music of your victory will begin to play. Have you ever felt that inexplicable intuition, that inner voice whispering that something is about to change, that feeling that, despite the visible circumstances, something greater is working behind the scenes of your life? Trust that perception. It is the harbinger of approaching restoration. Like animals that sense the rain before the first drops fall, your spirit is picking up signs of imminent transformation. That injustice wasn't the end of your story. It was just a necessary chapter. A painful chapter, undoubtedly, but essential for the development of your character, for the strengthening of your faith, for the direction of your destiny. In November, you will turn the page and begin to write a new chapter, more glorious than all the previous ones. The nature of a Taurus is to build, fortify, and establish. You were born to create solid and lasting structures. Therefore, when something you built was destroyed, the pain was particularly profound. But this same constructive nature will now be your greatest asset. You will rebuild with more wisdom, more discernment, and a much broader vision than you had before. When restoration comes, it will not be gradual or partial. It will be sudden and complete. Like a dam that breaks after holding back water for too long, the blessings held back during your time of trial will be released all at once. People around you will be amazed at the speed and magnitude of the transformation in your life. There's a phenomenon in nature called desert bloom, when arid regions, after years of drought, suddenly become covered in flowers after a single intense rainfall. It's an explosion of life and color where before there was only desolation. November will be your intense rain, transforming areas of your life that seemed permanently barren into lush gardens. The wait was long, I know. There were moments when you almost gave up, almost accepted that the loss was final. But something inside you, a spark of hope, a sacred stubbornness, refused to accept no as a final answer. That something wasn't just your resilient personality, it was an alignment with the divine decree of your restoration. The greatest miracles often happen when we're about to give up, as if the universe tests our persistence one last time before releasing the blessing. You passed that test. You persevered when it would have been easier to abandon everything. And now, in November, you will witness the result of that perseverance. There are coincidences and there are dissidences, those moments when the alignment of circumstances is so perfect that it surpasses any statistical probability. In November, you will experience a succession of these dissidences, improbable encounters, opportunities arising out of nowhere, solutions that will appear precisely when you need them most. It will be impossible not to recognize the divine hand working in your favor. The story of Job, who lost everything he had but recovered double in the end, is not just an ancient narrative. It is a spiritual principle that will be repeated in your life. Like him, you have faced devastating losses, profound questioning, dark nights of the soul. And like him, you will receive a multiplied restoration that will transform your story into a testimony for generations. The month of November carries an energy of transformation and renewal. It is when nature prepares for important transitions, autumn giving way to winter in the northern hemisphere, spring blossoming in the southern hemisphere. This energy of seasonal change will amplify the power of your restoration, creating a perfect cosmic environment for the miracle that is about to happen. Your life will not only be restored, it will be reimagined. Like an artist who, in restoring an ancient work, not only corrects the damage, but reveals beauties that were hidden beneath layers of dust and darkness. What will come will not be a simple return to what it was before. It will be an enhanced, expanded, and elevated version of what you had lost. The stability you value so much, Taurus, wasn't meant to come from external circumstances, but from an unwavering inner conviction. That's why those external foundations were shaken, so you could discover a much more solid foundation within yourself. And in November, this inner discovery will manifest in external blessings that no one can take away from you. I know you have a generous heart, Taurus. And when restoration comes, your first inclination will be to share your blessings, help others who are going through what you went through, be a channel of hope for the discouraged. This natural generosity will further multiply your restoration, creating a virtuous cycle of abundance that will expand far beyond your own life. The present moment, however difficult it may be, is only a tiny point on the timeline of your existence. Like a camera that zooms in on a detail and loses sight of the bigger picture, you may have focused too much on the loss, forgetting the grandeur of your destiny. November will bring a new perspective that will reveal the complete and glorious panorama of your life. Your desert is about to bloom, Taurus. Your dark night is giving way to dawn. Your harsh winter is giving way to abundant spring. November will not just be another month, it will be the gateway to a new dimension of your existence, where every loss will be transformed into multiplied gain, every wound into renewed strength, every rejection into divine guidance. Restoration is on its way, and it will bring much more than you have lost. It will bring everything that has always been yours by divine right.